It is Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. I'm Ashley Pollard, and I'm here for today's edition of Tuesday Talk, where we review common real estate and mortgage-related terms. Today's term is cooperative, or co-op for short, and a co-op is a residential multi-unit building where the title to the land and the building is held by a corporation. This is very common in New York, but you do also see it in parts of New Jersey. So what do you get with co-op ownership? Well, each purchaser of an apartment in the building receives stock in the corporation, and they also receive what's known as a proprietary lease. This is a special lease that gives that tenant shareholder the right to occupy their particular unit, but it's very dissimilar to a condo. With a condo, you actually own your unit. With a co-op, you do not own real estate. You own shares or stock in that corporation, and you get a lease that says you can occupy your particular unit. So it's a very big difference between the two. Now, the fees that have to be paid, like taxes, mortgage, interest, any operating fees, any maintenance fees, these all get paid by the tenant shareholders, and they're usually billed to each tenant shareholder as some sort of monthly fee or maintenance charge, and then the corporation sees about making sure that those payments get paid. Now, I have 4 questions that you might have about co-ops, and I'm going to answer them. So the first question is, can anyone buy a co-op? Anyone is eligible to buy a co-op. But the bylaws for co-ops usually state that any new owner has to be approved by the board of directors. And the goal of that is to make sure that the present owners are protected from default by any other owner. Now, this is understandable, but it does open the door to potential discrimination. So any applicant for co-op ownership that gets denied, their denial just has to make sense, and it can't be based in something that violates fair housing. Now, question number 2, are there disadvantages to co-op ownership? Well, one disadvantage is that if any owner or enough owners become financially unable to make their share of the payments, then the corporation could be forced to allow the mortgage and interest and taxes and all that to go unpaid. And if they go unpaid, then we open the door to foreclosure. So one way to avoid that is to have some sort of reserve fund set up. If there's a reserve fund, if owners come into some sort of financial hardship, then that fund can be tapped into. If you don't have a fund, well, then you might be looking at potential foreclosure. So you want to make sure that there is something in place that offers protection to the corporation as a whole. Third question, are there any tax breaks? Owners of co-ops receive the same income tax breaks as owners of single-family homes. So yes, you do receive tax breaks. And the last question, can I rent out my co-op unit? You can rent out your co-op unit. However, because there is an intense interview process, many co-ops forbid this because if you have too many tenants in the building, one issue is that future owners could have trouble getting mortgage financing. I actually ran into this situation when I sold a condo recently. The buyer had to come up with a higher down payment because the ratio of owner occupants to tenants was such that the bank had required the buyer to put down more money. So you will see some co-ops just say, no, you can't rent it out. You have to actually occupy your unit. But there are some exceptions. So talk to your attorney, talk to your real estate agent about what those are for, whatever co-op unit you're looking into. If you have any other questions, please reach out to me or please reach out to your attorney. And if you don't have one, I have some recommendations for you. So also reach out to me for that. I appreciate you tuning in for today's term. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I will see you all next Tuesday.